Ferrari Purosangue. Ferrari has created a unique car and the encapsulation of the prancing horse's DNA, where performance, driving pleasure and comfort coexist in perfect harmony. And that's why this new model was called Ferrari Purosangue, Italian for thoroughbred. Less than ul greater than less than li greater than less than, li greater than less than li greater than less than, li greater than less than, ul greater than. Kate Middleton wears pearl necklace in tribute to the Queen. As she heads to Buckingham Palace, Daily Mail. The Princess of Wales was photographed making a subtle tribute to the Queen as she and the Prince of Wales headed towards Buckingham Palace to receive Her Majesty's coffin. The Princess of Wales was photographed making a subtle tribute to the Queen as she and the Prince of Wales headed towards Buckingham Palace to receive Her Majesty's coffin. Dressed in a smart black +4142 chars. Ukrainian troops keep up pressure on fleeing Russian forces, the Associated Press. En Español. Kharkiv, Ukraine. App. Ukrainian troops piled pressure on retreating Russian forces Tuesday, pressing deeper into occupied territory and sending more Kremlin troops fleeing ahead of the counter-offensive that has inflicted a stunning blow on Moscow's militar. Kharkiv, Ukraine. App. Ukrainian troops piled pressure on retreating Russian forces Tuesday, pressing deeper into occupied territory and sending more Kremlin troops fleeing ahead of the counter-offensive. +6734 chars. Woman's back pain. Weight loss caused by deadly fungal infection valley fever. Insider. In late 2020, Desiree Chan developed back pain, fatigue, night sweats, and a cough. After a month of testing, she was diagnosed with valley fever. When Desiree Chan got out of the bathtub on New Year's Eve in 2020, a shooting pain tore through her neck and spine. She crawled into bed and stayed there for 2 days. The next week, Chan, then 3 +5729 chars. What may have given modern humans an edge over Neanderthals? According to new research, CNN, a new study has revealed potential differences in the brains of modern humans and Neanderthals, linked to neuron production. CNN. From studying fossilized skulls, scientists know that the size of a Neanderthal's brain was the same as, if not slightly bigger than, that of a modern human. However, researchers have known lit. +3946 chars. LIV Golf season-ending team championship includes match play head-to-head knockout playoff and $50 million purse. ESPN. Golfers will compete for $50 million, the richest purse in the sport's history, in LIV Golf's season-ending team championship, which is scheduled to be played at Trump National Doral, Miami from October 27 to 30. Golfers will compete for $50 million, the richest purse in the sport's history, in LIV Golf's season-ending team championship, which is scheduled to be played at Trump National Doral, Miami from October +3243 chars. Second Stone. The Legend of the Hidden World. Exclusive announcement trailer. IGN null. Dow tumbles 1,200 points for worst day since June 2020 after hot inflation report. CNBC. The stock market came under pressure after the Consumer Price Index report for August showed higher than expected inflation. Stocks fell sharply on Tuesday after a key August inflation report came in hotter than expected, hurting investor optimism for cooling prices and a less aggressive Federal Reserve. The Dow Jones I.N.D. plus 2466 chars. Ramsey Lewis, jazz pianist who revitalized genre, dies at 87. CNN. Lewis spent nearly 60 years recording and performing original jazz music, striking gold in 1965 with the crossover hit, The In Crowd. He died Monday at his home in his native Chicago. His manager confirmed. Null. NFL Power Rankings for Week 2. Bills make loudest statement, New York Post. Who among us had the Packers, Bengals, 49ers and Titans all winless headed to Week 2? Like Saving Private Ryan or The Dark Knight, the NFL season starts fast and gets an audience hooked. Week 1 offered 5 games decided by a winning score in the final 2 minutes of regulation or OV. Plus 5502 chars. Supplements are not elixirs of youth. Vitamin D3 and omega-3 fatty acids not helpful against frailty. Daily Mail. Scientists at Brigham and Women's Hospital tracked 25,000 adults more than 50 years old for 5 years. They found the supplements did not reduce frailty rates. Popping vitamin D3 and omega-3 fatty acid pills every day will not stop older adults from suffering inflammation and becoming frail, a study has found. Scientists at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. Plus 5478 chars. A change in Jupiter's orbit could make Earth even friendlier to life. Space.com. The surface of our planet could be even more hospitable to life if the gas giant shifted its orbit. A shift in Jupiter's orbit could make Earth's surface even more hospitable to life than it already is. New research suggests. University of California Riverside, UCR. Scientists simulated alternative. Plus 4281 chars. Source: Pittsburgh Steelers T.J. Watt doesn't need surgery. Expected to miss 6 weeks. ESPN. Doctors determined Tuesday afternoon that the Steelers' T.J. Watt does not surgery on his torn pectoral and the star pass rusher is expected to miss about 6 weeks. A source told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Doctors determined Tuesday afternoon that the Pittsburgh Steelers' T.J. Watt does not surgery on his torn pectoral and the star pass rusher is expected to miss about 6 weeks. A source told ESPN's A. Plus 1806 chars. Various DAYLIFE. Launch trailer. Nintendo Direct 9.13.22 Nintendo null. They should do 100 feet. Wall Street debates the Fed's next rate move. Bloomberg. Null. To continue, please click the box below to let us know you're not a robot. Queen's coffin arrives in London for final journey. The Royal Family Channel. Queen's coffin arrives in London for final journey. The plane carrying the Queen's coffin has landed at RAF Northolt in London following its journey from A.D. Null. U.S. incomes fail to grow for second year in a row. Census Figures Show. The Wall Street Journal. Median household income of about $70,800 in 2021 wasn't different in a significant way from the inflation-adjusted 2020 estimate, the Census Bureau said in its annual report. Americans as a whole have experienced 2 years in a row of flat or declining household income. New government data showed Tuesday, reflecting the pandemic's lingering economic pain as inflation is plus 307 chars. A woman went to with shoulder pain. She had lung cancer. Insider. The woman's lung cancer hadn't spread to her shoulder, but doctors believe that her pain came from one of the tumors in her spine. A woman who went to an emergency room with shoulder pain was diagnosed with lung cancer that had spread to other parts of her body, and died 25 days later, according to a report. The unnamed 76 Ye plus 2628 chars. Why NASA's Artemis has fuel leak problems that SpaceX doesn't. WSJ, Wall Street Journal. Null. Your browser isn't supported anymore. Update it to get the best YouTube experience and our latest features. Learn more. Remind me later. NFL Power Rankings for Week 2. Bills make loudest statement, New York Post. Who among us had the Packers? Bengals. 49ers and Titans all winless headed to Week 2. Like Saving Private Ryan or The Dark Knight. The NFL season starts fast and gets an audience hooked. Week 1 offered 5 games decided by a winning score in the final 2 minutes of regulation or OV. Plus 5502 chars. Splatoon 3's most hated gun needs to go. Players say. Kotaku. The Clash Blaster is a solid mid to short-range shooter. But some folks would rather it get removed from the game. With Splatoon 3 finally out on Nintendo Switch, folks have no doubt tried their hands at a variety of the game's eclectic weapons. There are plenty to check out. From the classic rapid-firing splatter. Plus 4320 chars. Biden administration prepares for a potential railroad worker strike. CNBC. The White House has been preparing contingency plans to keep key goods moving and transportation. Lines open if union railroad workers strike later this week. The White House has been preparing contingency plans to keep key goods moving and transportation. Lines open if union railroad workers strike later this week. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Plus 2759 chars. Sabrina Carpenter gets ready for Vogue World. Vogue. Kris Jenner and Kylie Jenner step into the kitchen before sampling the new limited edition Kylie Cosmetics collection inspired by Kris herself. What better Null. Queen Elizabeth's coffin lands in London after final flight. CNN. Queen Elizabeth II's coffin has landed in London, and will now be taken to Buckingham Palace by car. Queen Elizabeth II's coffin has landed in London, and will now be taken to Buckingham Palace by car. The coffin was transported from Edinburgh on board a C-17 Globemaster transport plane. Air Chief M. Plus 4164 chars. A common virus is surging, and it can cause a polio-like disease in kids. Ars Technica. The rare AFM has peaked in 2-year cycles, but it missed its last cycle amid COVID. In large, students listen to their teacher during their first day of transitional kindergarten at Tustin Ranch Elementary School in Tustin, Calif. On Wednesday, August 11, 2021, 18 with 11 posters p. Plus 4055 chars. NASA's CAPSTONE Moon Probe is in more trouble than we realized. Gizmodo. The $30 million spacecraft is currently tumbling and in safe mode after a course correction maneuver on September 8. Controllers with the CAPSTONE mission are attempting to regain control of the moon-bound probe, which is currently tumbling, experiencing temperature issues, and unable to use its solar panels to full. Plus 4368 chars. UFC 279 video. Watch fan get phone smashed after telling Khamzat Chimaev, "You didn't make weight, bloody elbow." Bravery or stupidity? You decide. A disgruntled fan got what he deserved after heckling Khamzat Chimaev following his missed weight cut at UFC 279. Khamzat's welterweight matchup with Nate Diaz was called off at the last minute after. Plus 895 chars. Out now. Treasures classic arcade shmup, Radiant Silvergun, surprise drops on Switch, Nintendo Life. Pew pew. Subscribe to Nintendo Life on YouTube. Today's Nintendo Direct showcase was full of release dates that either felt very close or very far away. None more so was this the case with news that the Class Plus 995 chars